Hi, my name is Farhan Samanani, and I'm an anthropologist at the Max Planck Institute for the Study of Religious and Ethnic Diversity. My research explores how people build understanding, connection, and common cause across lines of meaningful difference. So I work with people living in diverse neighborhoods across the UK, and I try to understand what differences actually matter to them in their day-to-day life. And then I try to trace the tools that they have for connecting and collaborating across those differences. In my current work, I follow a network of community organizers who operate across the UK, helping communities build grassroots coalition for change around common issues, ranging from climate change, to a living wage, to racialized policing. I'm interested in understanding how these different issues matter to different groups in different communities, but also how these different understandings are brought together to create bigger coalitions. For instance, how does racialized policing matter to the congregation at the mosque, to school children, to Latina mothers struggling with poverty or precarious legal status? And then, how are these different perspectives and motivations brought together to create greater community power? I think if you really want to understand people, their hopes, their dreams, their struggles, maybe some of the prejudices that they have, you have to build strong relationships. And so I really bring collaboration to the heart of how I do my research. I've worked with older people's organizations to help map and campaign for accessibility resources locally. I've hosted open mic nights, I've volunteered at youth clubs. I've worked with climate campaigners to translate climate science into more ordinary language. And on a personal level, I make a point of building strong personal connections. So what I do is a form of ethnography that emphasizes participant observation, but it's a sort of participant observation that's not afraid to get stuck in, that really takes an investment in people's issues in their lives. Of course, I draw on other methods as well. I go through policy documents, search through the archives, I interview elite experts, I analyze statistics, but those personal relationships are really key to what I do. I think this sort of research is important because if you look at some of the global challenges that we're facing today, we don't necessarily have the tools to build collective solutions. Take climate change, for example. People understand climate change in all sorts of different ways. For some people, climate change is a matter of our individual behavior as consumers. For other people, it's more an issue to do with corporate misbehavior. Some people look at it through the lens of religion or their local park or recycling, others through carbon emissions. Now, when we normally look at how we make decisions as a democracy, we put a heavy emphasis on consensus. You need consensus before action. So when you're faced with all these different sorts of understandings, there's an impulse to identify the ones that you think might be wrong and correct them to get everybody on the same page. But when you look at an issue as complicated and large as climate change, first of all, that's very challenging to actually build that consensus. But secondly, it might even be oppressive to insist that everybody has to think the same way. So what my research is looking for is tools for collaborating and connecting and building political change that don't try to eliminate difference, but try to work with difference and treat difference as a strength for how we can build a better world.